So you're a serious gamer, right? You know that every single frame, every millisecond can be the difference between winning and losing. Well, let me tell you, the biggest thing happening in monitors right now is OLED. And it's not just a tiny step up, it's a massive leap. We're going to break down why this tech is becoming the new gold standard for anyone who's serious about their games. So I want you to think about something. That last match, the one that was super close, could it be that your monitor was actually holding you back? I mean, really think about it. Is that screen you're looking at right now the bottleneck in your setup? Yeah, because what we're talking about here is genuinely the next generation of displays for gaming. This isn't just a small update, it's a full-on revolution for your eyes. Okay, so what's the big deal? It really boils down to three things. One, the visuals are just mind-blowing. Two, the response times are so fast, it's almost like the monitor knows what you're going to do before you do it. And three, it creates an experience that's so immersive, it can completely change how you play your favorite games. All right, so how does it actually work? What's the secret sauce? Let's dive in and explain why OLED is really in a league of its own. Okay, check this out. This is the absolute key difference. On the left, you've got your standard LCD monitor. It has a backlight behind the screen that's always on. That's why your blacks never look truly black. They're more like a dark gray, right? But now look at the OLED on the right. Each and every pixel makes its own light. So when something on screen needs to be black, the pixel just switches off, completely off. And that's it. That's how you get perfect, absolute true black. And here's where you see it in the numbers. It's kind of crazy. Contrast ratio. For an LCD, it's like 1,000 to 1. For an OLED, it's infinite. Black levels, you go from kind of dark gray with some light leaking through to true pitch black. And the response time, this is huge for gamers. We're talking less than 1 millisecond for OLED versus maybe 5 for a good LCD. In a fast-paced shooter, 5 milliseconds is an eternity. It's a huge, huge difference. And that's exactly why you see people saying things like this. It's not just about making your games look pretty, although they will look amazing. That speed, that clarity, it literally gives you a competitive edge. It's a real tangible advantage. All right, so you get the why. Now let's talk about the what. What are the actual specs you need to look for when you're shopping for one of these things? First up, you've got refresh rate. You'll see this measured in Hertz or HC. All this means is how many times the picture on the screen redraws itself every second. So a 240 Hertz monitor is drawing a new picture 240 times a second. For anything fast-paced, like shooters, this is what gives you that super buttery smooth motion. Okay, next is response time. And please don't mix this up with refresh rate. They're totally different things. Refresh rate is how many frames you see. Response time is how fast the pixels themselves can change from one color to another. With OLED, it's so insanely fast, we're talking under a millisecond, that you get pretty much zero motion blur or ghosting. That means when something moves fast across your screen, it stays sharp and clear. And then, of course, there's resolution. This one's easy. It's all about detail. More pixels, like 1440p or 4K, means a sharper picture. Simple as that. The catch? You need a beast of a graphics card to run games at high resolutions and get those high refresh rates we just talked about. It's a bit of a balancing act. Oh, and one more thing, don't sleep on HDR, high dynamic range. It just makes everything look more vibrant and real. And this is where OLEDs absolutely crush it, because you have those perfect blacks, the bright, flashy parts of a scene just pop off the screen like you wouldn't believe. It's a game changer for how good your games can look. Okay, that's a lot of tech talk. So how do you take all this information and actually pick the right monitor for you? Let's make a plan. Let's make this super simple. Just 3 steps. Step 1. Look at your computer. Be honest with yourself. Can your graphics card actually handle a 4K high refresh rate monitor? No sense in buying a Ferrari engine for a go-kart, you know? Step 2. Think about what you play. If you're all about competitive shooters like Valorant or Apex, you want a high refresh rate, period. If you're more into gorgeous RPGs, maybe you prioritize resolution for all that detail. And finally, step 3. Just glance at the back and check the ports. You're going to want things like HDMI 2.1 or a new DisplayPort to make sure you're getting all the performance you're paying for. All right, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. The one thing everyone always asks about with OLED, burn-in. Yeah, this is the big one, isn't it? You're about to drop some serious cash on a beautiful new monitor, and the last thing you want is for your game's health bar to be permanently etched into the screen forever. So let's get real about it. Yes, burn-in is caused by having the exact same static image on screen for hundreds or even thousands of hours. Think a game HUD or a news ticker. But here's the thing. The people who make these monitors, they know all about this. Modern OLEDs have all sorts of clever tricks built in to fight it, like subtly shifting the image around or dimming static logos. So while the risk isn't technically zero, for most people who are just gaming and using their computer normally, it's honestly not something you really need to worry about anymore. So there you have it. We've talked about the tech, we've tackled the burning concerns. Really, there's only one question left. Now that you know what's possible, the perfect blacks, the instant response time, the insane colors, aren't you just a little bit curious to see what you've been missing all this time?